Hi, this is Dr. Letitia Wright, and I am here to share with you this really great story about a product that comes from Intelligender.com. We've got one of the co-founders with us. We've got Teresa Garland. Teresa Garland used to be an accountant, and she and her partner came up with this great idea to not just have a pregnancy test, but have a test to tell you if you're having a girl or a boy. And so I wish I had known about this a couple of months ago. My sister is having her first baby, and we're all excited, but we had to wait for the ultrasound and all of that good stuff. So it's a fascinating story of what they've done, but also how they brought this idea to market. So welcome to the show, Teresa.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
This is really very interesting because you don't really have a medical background. You're an accountant, right?
I am. I'm an accountant by training. Spent years, getting the accounting degree, but that background is what was very helpful in from a business regard and kind of just getting me started. And when I went off to do this on my own.
Okay, so you were able to make sure your numbers were good. That's one thing you had down. You had them down.
I'm the official CFO these days.
Okay, very good, very good. And when did the idea come about? Because of course for millions of years women have thought, wow, wouldn't it be great if I would know,
Right.
I have a sister-in-law that has 7 boys. I bet she would have wanted to know.
That's great. Well, my partner Rebecca Griffin and I we were at lunch one day, and she's like your sister-in-law. She has a gaggle too. She doesn't have 7, she has 4. And we were just visiting about how she had been kind of really obsessed with figuring out what the gender was. And I said, I can't believe there's not a product like that on the market today, kind of like the EPT test or, the ovulation test. And, whoever got to that first, that would be a great niche market to develop. And, we both agreed and sat there and visited with it about a little bit and said, well, why don't we go and do some research? Surely we're not the first ones to have thought about this. And, technology is a great thing because it's at your fingertips. And we went out and just did a bunch of research all over the web, just typing in keywords and found out that there had been a lot of research done back even in the 40s and 50s about, determining gender off of urine. And, that's really just how it all started. We couldn't believe everything that had been done, but that there was still no product. So it was just over a conversation at lunch one day.
Okay. Now, how did you get your husbands to buy in, and at one point did they buy in? Was the business really up and going by the time they get in? Because you've made over $750,000. Is that correct?
Well, we've made over 750,000 kits. We've sold
okay.
750,000 kits now.
Wow, 750,000 kits. That's
worldwide.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
That is awesome. So when did they come into your business?
Well, they came in. We were really all working full-time jobs already. We were all, busy, and so we were doing this in the evenings and on the weekends. And when we went into the national market, so when we landed with CVS and Walgreens and of the world, it became obvious that we needed to do this full-time. And so my husband made the leap in January of 2009, and my partner's husband made the leap just a few months later. So we really needed all of our resources and all of our time to dedicated full-time at that point.
All hands on deck at that point.
On deck. It was a big task we were undertaking.
It was pretty exciting to get that first call from the Walgreens and the big box stores. Was that exciting?
It really was, but I will tell you, when we first started out, we were just a small internet-based company. We sold our first kit on the internet in '06, and it was just really something that we had put together and thought, well, maybe we can have a little bit of extra income on the side. We had no idea that it was going to get as big as it did. And we just found a template on the web, just something that we downloaded for free, and put a shopping cart together. And we had already done the research. We knew the formula had worked. We had tested in the lab many times. And And that's really how we started out, was just on the internet. Then we moved off to the boutiques, like you find in the, the maternity stores, the pregnancy stores.
Mm-hmm.
And once we started getting ground there in the bricks and mortars, it just kind of took off.
Wow, that's very exciting. Talk to me about your international market. How are you received there, and what countries are the biggest countries in terms of wanting your product at this point?
Well, believe it or not, we probably get emails daily from different countries that are wanting it. So we have distribution arrangements now in Latin America. We have them in Turkey. We have them in Russia. Let me see some of the episodes. I don't handle all of the international. We're probably in about 18 countries now. A lot of them in the Latin American countries, Mexico, Brazil, Chile. So it just kind of, once we hit the market and the word got out, it got out on a global scale, and distributors from those other countries picked up the phone and emailed us or called us.
They were ready to go. What is the most fun about owning your own business? I mean, I know this is a huge business and it kind of went a little differently than you had first imagined, but what do you personally like, Teresa, about being the business owner?
I enjoy the decision-making aspect for kind of working for ourselves. I mean, I'm with partners as well, but I think the big cherry on top is the flexibility that I have during my day. That I have a 13-year-old son and we have 2 older sons, and so if I need to run up to school, or if I need to take him to take lunch to him, or whatever, I don't feel compelled that I have to ask somebody else's permission to go and do that. It's my own freedom, and that self-reliance is very nice. It's been great.
And then how did you handle growth? A lot of times when growth happens, because we're outgrowing our systems, the current systems you have in place seem to be falling apart. How did you handle the growth? How did you know that it was growth and not your business falling apart?
Well, when we went into the mass retailers, we knew that we had to go from all of our manual processes that we had in place to much more automated processes. And my background came into play with that, and my husband's background, he's an IT guy, has been in software his whole life. So we really drew from his experience in, supply chain, logistics, and we had to start taking orders electronically from the Walgreens, and so that was really key, but I would tell anybody who is starting up, and I think the big lesson for me is that, a lot of the resources that we pulled from as we went from the lunch to where we are today were just friends and neighbors, close people by. We just picked up the phone and started calling people. And it was just fascinating how interested they were, and they wanted to help. And if they couldn't help you, then they would recommend somebody that might be able to help you. And so you call that person. It really just started out that simply by picking up the phone and calling just immediate people we knew, and they referred us to the next person down the road.
That's very exciting. So what are the next big horizons for Intelligender?
Well, we have some products in the works. I can't go into a lot of detail, as you understand the confidentiality of them, but we do have some things that we're working on in the same shelf space, in the family planning shelf space, that would be new. So it's not anything improved on anything that's there. We've got some new products that we're working on that we're pretty excited about. Hopefully within the next 12 months, you'll see those out there.
Very good. Well, we hope to have you back on Right Place TV telling us about your new products.
I would love to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so you guys can check it out at Intelligender.com. You know you want to know the sex of your baby. Who doesn't? It's very exciting. This is a woman-owned business, a woman-created business. Her and her partner created it, and so it's really exciting. So remember, ignoring one's conscience is neither safe nor right, and I'll see you next time.